Hello everyone, I'm Wade, your cinephile host. Have you ever heard of the story of David and Goliath? Well, today's movie title, In the Valley of El, refers to the very same alley of the biblical story of David and Goliath, where a battle took place. 震撼效应 is a 2007 American crime drama mystery film starring Tommy Lee Jones, Charlize Theron, and Susan Sarandon. The Valley of El is based on actual events, although the characters' names and location have been changed. It portrays a military father's search for his son, and after his body is found, subsequently hunts for his son's killers. The film explores themes including the Iraq War, abuse of prisoners, post-traumatic stress disorder, commonly known as PTSD following active combat, and the apportionment of blame for these effects of war. On November 1st, 2004, Hank Deerfield, a gravel trucker and retired military police sergeant living in Tennessee with his wife, Joan, is notified that his son, Mike, a soldier who recently returned from Iraq, has gone missing. Hank drives to Mike's base in New Mexico to look for him. Leaving home, he helps a school custodian raise the American flag correctly. At Fort Rudd, Hank meets his son's squad and secretly takes Mike's cell phone from his belongings. Watching video recovered from the phone, he attempts to report Mike's disappearance to police detective Emily Sanders and reaches out to a friend formerly at Army CID without success.
How about the younger one?
Mike.
Yeah.
Regular Army, just like his old man. In Iraq, doing well. I'm doing a favor for a neighbor lady. One of her boys is in a little trouble. Is there anybody we know still there?
No, they're all gone.
She got you on a short leash.
You know.
Soon, Mike's burned and dismembered body is discovered. Fort Rudd claims jurisdiction, believing that a pipe found under Mike's mattress and the recent arrest of other soldiers for smuggling heroin indicates his murder was drug-related. Hank persuades Sanders to show him the crime scene and realizes that a green car spotted at the scene was actually blue. Belittled by her male colleagues, Sanders convinced the local sheriff to pursue the investigation.
So you don't believe their primary concern will be how this incident reflects on the Army?
And you see this as a career move, is that it?
I don't have a career, sir. I have a job. I take care of my son and I do what I'm told. But this boy died in a ditch beside one of our streets. Someone burned him like a cord of wood, leaving his remains for the animals to chew on. With respect, if that was your son just back from Iraq, I don't think he'd be quite as happy about tossing this case off to someone else just so you look better come election time.
That was with respect?
That was my intent, sir.
Well, fine, I'll think about it and I'll let you know.
Every second we lose in this
But
investigation...
didn't you just say that you would do whatever you were told?
Yeah, I sometimes exaggerate for effect.
After viewing her son's remains, Joan returns home and receives a package Mike mailed to himself, which Hank urges her not to open. Mike's credit card history leads Sanders and Hank to a restaurant, where Hank deduces Mike ate with at least 2 other people shortly before his death. Sanders is given sworn statements from Mike's squad by Army investigators, preventing her from interviewing them herself. She invites Hank over for dinner, and he tells her young son the biblical story of David's battle with Goliath in the Valley of Elah.
First thing David had to fight was his own fear. He beat that, he beat Goliath. Because when Goliath came running, David just planted his feet, took aim, and waited. You know how much courage that took? Just a few more steps and Goliath would have crushed him.
Eve, a bartender Hank previously questioned, recognizes Mike's squadmate, CPL Steve Penning, from a photograph, leading Hank to learn that Mike and Penning were kicked out of a strip club the night Mike was killed. Sanders interviews Penning, Bonner, and SPC Ennis Long, who admit to lying in their statements. After Mike got the 4 of them kicked out of the club, he and Bonner fought in the parking lot. Mike then paid for their food at the restaurant, and they visited a prostitute before leaving Mike, who was looking to buy drugs. Hank refuses to believe Mike's fellow soldiers could have anything to do with his death. Hank and the police determined that another member of Mike's squad, PVT Robert Ortez, is AWOL with a history of drug smuggling and owns a blue car. Following the police as they raid Ortez's address, Hank subdues the fleeing Ortez and beats him until detectives intervene. Ortez is arrested.
I see you cracked him wide open.
Put your hand up. He isn't pressing any charges. You're damn lucky I feel pity on you. I'd be doing it myself.
I didn't mean to hit you.
That what passes for an apology in your world?
I'm sorry.
Keep it.
Isn't anybody going to question him?
I questioned him. They questioned him. We searched his house. There's no evidence he had anything to do with it.
Bonner's hanged body is found with Mike's grandfather's watch in his pocket. Sanders concludes that Bonner, who also owned a blue car, killed Mike. Later, she also learns that Angie, a soldier's wife who came to her for help previously, had been murdered by her husband. Hank has his son's remains sent home, and Penning helps jumpstart his truck while reminiscing about Mike. A plot twist came when Sanders matches Penning's handwriting to the signature on Mike's last credit card statement and realizes Penning, Bonner, and Long killed Mike, then used his credit card at the restaurant. But by this point, Penning had already came forward and received a plea deal. But at Sanders' insistence, she and Mike was able to hear his confession in person. He admits to stabbing Mike after a seemingly insignificant quarrel.
And Mike starts cussing at him too. And then I look down and I'm stabbing him.
You are?
Yeah.
And your friends didn't try and stop you?
I think they were sort of stunned. They're yelling. And Mike falls to the ground and he's dead. And Long is screaming, "Christ, what do we do now?" It was Bonner's idea to chop him up. He used to work for a butcher, knew how to work the knife around the joints, made it easier.
Hank asks him about a video of Mike torturing a captive insurgent, and the emotionally distanced Penning explains, "We all do stupid things." He also states that anyone could have died in the quarrel or a similar one, and that Mike was the smart one and that he could see, thereby implying Mike may have brought the aggression upon himself out of nihilistic despondency and the realization of the group's inability to readjust to civilian life. After collecting Mike's belongings, Hank apologized to Ortez, who has been honorably discharged. He then recalls the last conversation he had with his son after Mike had driven over an Iraqi child playing in the road.
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit! Do not stop. Do not fucking stop! What do I do? Speed up! Speed up! What are you doing?
Dad?
Get back in the fucking vehicle, Mike! Mike, get back in the fucking vehicle!
Dad?
Let's go, Mike! Now!
Are you there, Dad?
I can hardly hear you.
You gotta get me out of here.
That's just nerves talking.
Something happened, Dad.
For Christ's sake. Is anybody there with you?
No, I'm alone.
That's good.
Okay, Dad, I gotta go.
You be safe, son. Stay safe.
Yeah, you too.
Hank thanks Sanders and returns home. He found that Joan had opened Mike's package, which contained a picture of his squad and a folded flag. Returning to the local school's flagpole, Hank flies his son's flag upside down. Whoa, that was a pretty heavy movie to watch. But it shares an important message, which I think raises awareness for what soldiers have to go through when they transition from the battlefield to civilian life. PTSD isn't something to take lightly, so we thank all of the people who are willing to put themselves in harm's way to protect their nation at their own expense. Thank you for your service.
接下来 Ruby 要揭晓今天电影迷震撼效应 in the Valley of Ella 要教我们些什么。
Hey Ruby, did you notice 这次的电影跟我们最近拍的 Taken 有一个共同点？
What is it?
Well, both are from a father's standpoint.
Oh yeah. I can only imagine how Hank feels when he's notified that his son disappeared.
一定非常难接受。
Let's talk about the word disappear today. Have you also heard of the word vanish?
Yeah, for sure. Like vanish into thin air. 中文也是消失的意思。
没错。那 vanish 跟 disappear 的差别在哪呢？很难分出差别，对吧？Well, let me give you a hint.
Okay.
虽然 vanish 也可以表示消失，但跟 disappear 比 ，vanish 强调突然消失，像你刚刚说的 vanish in thin air。
Right, vanish 有一层神秘感。It adds and makes it more dramatic.
Yes. 如果想要让 disappear 也更具戏剧感的话，可以说 disappear off the face of Earth。
哇，从地表消失，听起来很神秘耶。
很生动，对吧？
那我试试看哦。
That was Wade. I'm Ruby. Hope you've learned something useful in this episode of Cinephile as I did. You can find more on the Fun Day website. Let's make every day a fun day.
Yeah, they were here.
Both of them.
Yeah, them and their buddies.
Saturday night.
We had to throw them out. That one was harassing one of the dancers, real asshole.
This guy.
Other one. Get a lot of assholes in here, but he was going for the prize. Shouting obscenities at the dancers.
I think you got the wrong man.
You asked me to ID a guy, and then you tell me that I'm wrong. You two related?